Good morning again. Reverend Patricia Sunday here. We're back for our study in the Word of God, Genesis to Revelation. And we left off. We had to stop last time. I get started and I just can't stop. So today we're starting with verse 13 of chapter 8 in Genesis. And it came to pass in the 600th and first year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth. Okay, first year, first month, and first day of the month. So we have a time frame here now. The first 111. New beginnings. New beginnings. The waters were dried up from off the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. In the second month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dry. Now that was 1 year later. And God spoke to Noah, saying, wait a minute, it took 1 year for the earth to dry up. And God spoke to Noah, saying, go forth out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons wives with you. Bring forth with you every beast of every kind that is with you, both fowl and cattle, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, that they may breed abundantly on the earth and be fruitful and multiply upon the face of the earth. So Noah went forth, and his sons and his wife and his wives with him. Every beast, every domestic animal, and every fowl, and whatever creeps upon the earth after their kinds. Let's underline, after their kinds. If you've ever had some fun in the Bible, go back and count how many times after their kind is in here. It's amazing. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord and took of every clean animal. He took of every clean animal and of every clean fowl and offered burnt offerings on the altar. That's the first instance. If you want to star that verse 20, I always circle the number and then make a star or something that says after offer burnt offerings. That's the first time under the Noahic covenant that they offered animal sacrifices. Now, that Jesus was our sacrifice. He was our sacrificial lamb. So why would we want to build a third temple for animal sacrifices? We're not going to be doing animal sacrifices. And if you are a Christian and think you should be doing animal sacrifices, then you must have missed the boat, so to speak, somewhere. And the Lord smelled the sweet savor. The Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground anymore for man's sake, or because of man. For the inclination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again destroy any more every living thing as I have done. This is very important. I want you to star that and underline, neither will I again destroy any more every living thing as I have done. God's promise not to destroy every living thing means that in our day, when he comes in and we are raptured up at the second coming. those left on Earth will have a chance to survive. And I believe that's why they're building underground shelters, why you see our government building underground cities and tunnels. Governments all over the world, Russia, everywhere, China, everywhere, building underground cities and tunnels because they know that there are things coming that they're not letting the public know about. Of course, one thing that's coming is Armageddon or World War III, nuclear war, and I don't want to be here for that. Do you? Also, there are planets coming in. Another solar system has already come into our universe, and Revelation 8:13 calls it the destroyer. So we know that the destroyer is on its way. That is what is causing earthquakes, more flooding, more hurricanes, more all kinds of weather anomalies. It's not just CERN or mankind doing it. It is God doing it. God is doing this. This is set in motion. It comes around every so many hundreds of thousands of years. So this is God's plan. He reaps the earth. He continually reaps the earth and changes the earth. And he says the earth is eternal. He doesn't destroy the earth. He just keeps changing it. So as these planets come in, and I'm just going to tell you a few things here just to whet your appetite for when we get to the study of Revelation and other chapters, other books. One of the planets coming in is called Chiron. Chiron. And it is called the Christ planet. I hear bells going off, horns, shofars. Oh, the Christ planet. It's also called the Wounded Healer. Now, this planet is coming in along with a second sun, which is already in the universe, which is already peeking out. You can go on the internet and Google it or something, and it says it's the planet X, Nibiru, which is the destroyer. There's a planet destroyer, there's a planet Chiron, and there's the second sun. And then there are other planets along with it, smaller planets. But this one planet, Nibiru, is 10 times the size of Earth. So it's a huge, huge planet. And as it comes by, will sideswipe the Earth. And that's what's coming to stop about the time of Armageddon. So there are a lot of terrible things coming on Earth, not to mention the little minor battles we have going on now. So we're about to go through a lot of things the next few years. And but the church is going to be strong. God is building his army right now. The church is going to go through a lot of things. We are going to be bright lights in this world. So get ready. I just threw that out there. Now I've got you really confused. Okay, so there's another 7 years. There's another 7 years, so that's 14 years after make sure I'm right, after the 40 years or days, and then 150 days or years, then we got another 7 days or years, and another 7 days or years before the entire planet will be dry. Before it was dry here, in other words, it'll be cleansed up for mankind to reproduce. But you remember in Revelation, it talks about men are hiding in caves and dens. That's exactly what these underground cities are. They're caves and dens for men to hide in. Some of them will be their tombs because not all of them will survive because God is going to destroy the wicked. He is going to destroy the wicked wherever they are, underground or above ground or wherever they are. And those that are left behind that they will accept the Lord after this, after they see us raptured. Let's get back to the burnt offerings, verse 20. Then to verse 21, and the Lord smelled that sweet savor. So these people have been through hell. Not these, they just floated along on the boat, but what's coming is going to be a hell on earth. Take my word for it. And when they're through going through that, they are going to offer burnt offerings to the Lord. They'll be offering them to the Lord Jesus Christ, because they will know then that he was God. And he said he'd never destroy everything again. And verse 22, from henceforth, while the earth remains, which is always, seed time and a harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. So, he's just given a promise. He said, I will never destroy every living thing. It does not say he wouldn't use a flood to do it, although people say that's what he said, but it doesn't say that. He said, I will never destroy every living thing on the earth again. And while the earth remains, there will be seasons. So even though we have global warming or climate change or hurricanes and all the things that are happening, all these things that are going on, we will still have a season to grow, because you can't grow food on the earth without seasons. Now, let's go on to chapter 9. We have time, I think, to do if we hurry. And God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. So he's told the animals to replenish the earth, and now he's telling the people to replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moves upon the earth, and all the fish of the sea. Into your hand they are delivered. So he's telling them that just like back in Adam's time, these animals are under his control. They're under man's control. And every moving thing that is alive shall be food for you. Even as the green herb have I given you all things. Only flesh with the life thereof, that is, the blood thereof, you shall not eat. Wait. Only flesh with the life thereof, that is, the blood thereof, you shall not eat. So is he saying don't eat anything that has blood in it? No, he's saying don't eat the blood. So, and the reason he accentuates this so much is because back when he destroyed the earth before, and during the time that he had to destroy the earth again with Noah's flood, and even now, what are they doing? Satanic rituals, drink blood. And he was trying to show here a pattern that you're not to do, so that you knew that drinking blood was not good. That's an evil thing to do. So even when you cook your meat, you are to drain it, to cashew it, make it drain out the blood, so that there's no blood in it when you go to cook it. You'll notice sometimes when you cook food that if you haven't drained it, that there's going to be blood in the pan. You need to drain that. You're not to eat the blood. The blood is not good for you. It can cause different brain anomalies and things in your body. So that was a caution. Now, verse 5, and surely your lifeblood will I avenge. So What is it saying? Your lifeblood. So in other words, the blood is not to be drunk, but here is a little nugget that he's thrown in here that really didn't make any sense then, or has it ever made sense to you? But listen carefully. And surely your lifeblood, underline your lifeblood, will I avenge. All right, he's talking about those who murder people. His people. He sent Cain out in the world and he said, don't kill him. And through Cain's line came murder. Remember, Lamech killed a man and a boy, and he just thought it was nothing because God forgave it. Well, I'll just go on and do it 7 times that much. No, God says, the lifeblood will I avenge, your lifeblood. It didn't say the animal. It said the man. And what are we hearing about nowadays? Satanic rituals, draining blood, cooking people, eating flesh, sacrificing children. You think God is not coming back soon? I will avenge it, and at the hand of every beast will I avenge it, at the hand of man. And at the hand of man and his brother will I avenge the life of man. So, surely your lifeblood will I avenge, man's. Of every beast will I avenge. For every beast, he loves his animals too. He loves his animals just like we love our animals. And don't you think that every beast that's not being used to make chimeras, to mix their flesh with other things, he's going to avenge even the beast, even those precious animals that have been harmed and their offspring. And at the hand of a man and his brother will I avenge the life of a man. So he even uses people to avenge blood. Now, they could take the forms of judges or lawyers or people who actually have to slay somebody in defense of their life. Verse 6, whoever sheds the blood of men, by men will their blood be shed. For man was made in the image of God. As for you, be fruitful and multiply. Bring forth abundantly on the earth and multiply in it. And God spoke to Noah and to his sons with him, saying, as for me, behold, I will establish my covenant, underline, establish my covenant, with you and your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the fowl, the cattle, the beast, the wild beast of the earth, with you, and all that come out of the ark, and with every beast of the earth. Animal. A beast is an animal. A wild beast is an animal. And I will establish my covenant with you, so that never again shall all the flesh perish by the waters of a flood. There it is. That's where he said it. I will establish my covenant with you, so that never again shall all flesh, underline or circle, all flesh, perish by the waters of flood. He did not say all people will perish by a flood. He didn't say, I won't ever bring a flood. He said, I will establish my covenant so that never again shall all flesh perish by the waters of a flood. I tell you what, you think all these floods on the earth right now aren't being sent by God? Yes, they are. And he does this by natural means. He has set in motion the stars, the moon, the sun, the planets that are coming in to disturb this earth. Revelation 8:13 tells you about the destroyer that comes in to upset the earth. It's already here. Now, that doesn't mean that all flesh is going to be, it says he shall never, all flesh. He shall never again, shall all flesh perish. He just said that back there in verse 21 of chapter 8. So he said it in chapter 8, and now he said it again in chapter 9. He's doubly emphasizing that he's not going to destroy all flesh off the earth. And now we're going through this Bible, Genesis to Revelation. This is the time period we are living in. We're living in Revelation right now. We're living in Revelation past the seventh seal. I'm telling you, the seals have already been broken over the years as the Lord, from the time Jesus left until the time he's coming back, 7 seals have already been opened. We are in the 7th seal. So if you want to study your book of Revelation from the 7th seal on, you'll see where we are. Now, let me mention too what the Lord has shown me about the Word. There's been a play out since Jesus left till the time he's coming. There's been a play out of the seals, the plagues, all of that has played out over the earth once. But in our day, in a more compact time period, it's going to play out again quickly in succession. This one over the time period has been stretched out. At the end is compacted into a short time period. So it happens twice. You'll find a lot of things in the Bible happen twice, or because God works in 2 threes. Now, let's go to verse 12. And God said to Noah, this is the sign of the covenant. I want you to circle sign of the covenant. What is the sign of the covenant, which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations? Perpetual means forever. It goes on and on and on. It's never going to end. This promise that he will never destroy all flesh on the earth again is a perpetual promise. Now, he says, I set my bow. Circle, underline, I set my bow in the clouds, and circle bow. Now, what did I just tell you? You can look it up for yourself in Revelation, where it talks about the first rider on the white horse. He comes in peace on a white horse, looking good, not making big upset to begin with, slowly creeping in. Slowly creeping in. He has a bow. Which matches up to verse 13, which is the bow of the sign of the covenant. That bow is the rainbow flag of the homosexual, gay, lesbian, transgender, and now they have a whole long list of other things because they've all gone insane. So, there's your bow. Verse 13, circle bow. That's your white horse rider in the book of Revelation with the bow. Now, verse 14. And it shall come to pass when I bring clouds over the earth that the bow shall be seen in the clouds. Now, the bow he's talking about here, of course, is the rainbow covenant of the rainbow with all the 7 different colors. Now, the 7 colors of the rainbow altogether, produce white light, which is God's light. It's very white, brilliant light, more brilliant than the lights here that I'm having to sit under. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature that is with you of all flesh, and the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow, again, there's the bow, circle bow, shall be in the clouds, And I will look upon it as a remembrance of the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all earth, all flesh that is upon the earth. And God said to Noah, this is the sign of the covenant, which I have established between you and me, all flesh. This is the sign of the covenant. So the sign of the covenant was the rainbow, hijacked, stolen by the Antichrist rider on the white horse with homosexuality, riding with the rainbow flag. So I hope that's helped you today. We are completely listener supported, so I never ask for much, but I'm asking you today, if I've helped you and you are led by the Lord to send any kind of donation, then please address it to Sunday Ministries, Post Office Box 5411, Tallahassee, Florida. And we will use your donations wisely. It takes a lot of money to go places and do support and get the word out. And I just hope you will support my ministry that the Lord has given me. He's given into my hands many revelations. I'm not a prophetess. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a pastor. I am a teacher and a revelator, and that's how He works with me. And so we're going to continue studying His Word. You're just going to be amazed. You're just going to be amazed at the things you're going to learn. I thank you so much and enjoy being with you. I hope we're glad to be here. Thank you and come again. Shalom. Amen.